I just wish they would rake in here before we recorded.
That's good.
That is true. Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, I like it. I like the cornucopia.
Well, I meant to move some of the leaves, and then I found a dog dookie in it.
Damn.
You gotta be careful. You know, if you get that instinct to jump into a pile of leaves,
Yep.
you
Yeah.
don't know what's in there.
Yeah,
You don't know.
I know.
I do think about that. I know I made a goof about the poo.
Yep.
But genuinely, like when I was a kid, I was like, ooh, pile of leaves. And then like midair, I'd be like,
Me too.
anything could be in here.
That's
You know what I
true.
always
fire
do?
hydrant.
Fire hydrant is what I always
Ooh.
thought.
Wow.
That's always what I thought was fire hydrant.
Oh, see, I thought like, spikes, a dead thing. You know what I
Did
mean?
you think it was mostly realistic things or mostly non-realistic things?
I thought
Poop is realistic.
Things that, somewhat realistic in the realm of possibility.
Sure.
Spikes are in the realm of possibility.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Spike? What do you mean by spike? Maybe I'm
Some weird creepo taking like a board
Oh, so-
and hammering like crazy nails through it and then
that's
putting it
it.
there and then putting leaves over it.
That's insane.
Yeah, that person that does that is insane.
Sharp rock,
Sharp rock.
likely.
Ooh, sharp rock.
A board of rusty nails that a murderer left, less
He didn't
likely.
say they were rusty nails.
And I didn't say a murderer did it.
Well, a puncturizer.
Well, but think about like, but that's like saying, oh, it would be crazy if somebody poisoned Tylenol and put it back on the shelves.
Yeah.
But that did happen.
Yep.
Well, it's
You
like
know?
the razors and the candy, which didn't happen.
Right. But someone could
Someone could.
believably do
Right.
that. I'm not saying like they do it and then it's like magic or something.
I'll give
but-
you this. If on the scale of realistic from sharp rock to like leprechaun, I think board of nails halfway there.
So we're talking. So a 5 out of 10, which is
5 out of 10.
medium.
What do you say?
Perfectly.
Oh, yeah,
perfectly
5 out
fine.
of 10 makes
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense.
I think so.
I
yeah.
mean, trapdoor, no, right? 10 out of 10 for that one.
Like if you said shower door on its side with one of those suction dildos, that's like a 9 out of 10. There's no way someone's doing that.
It's a big.
That was very specific.
That's a big pile of leaves.
Yeah.
No, it's
Speaking of, did you get somebody to pick up all that stuff from your house?
No, and I never will.
I mean, I put an ad on Craigslist, but it was for something else. No, or I would always think like, what if there's like some dead animal in it? You know what I mean? In these leaves.
Dead animal, 2 out of 10.
And then you
10.
jump
2
and you're like, it's all over me. You know what I mean?
I think poop is like a 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Are you jumping into, I guess, strange piles of leaves? Because for me, it's like, oh, Dad.
Now, when you say strange, you mean it as the euphemism, right?
Yeah.
Like getting some strange.
yeah, getting some strange.
I have.
Are you jumping into
I've
some
jumped
strange
into a pile of
leaves?
strange before.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think when you're jumping into a pile of leaves, either it's at where you live or around where you live where you feel like comfortable. Maybe it's not like you raked the leaves yourself, but you're not like running up to a stranger's house that lives 10 miles away.
Listen, I took my son trick or treating in a different neighborhood that was his friend's neighborhood.
Right.
And there were piles of leaves, and I saw these young kids like, ooh, pile of leaves, and like go right for it.
Yep.
They don't know, right?
You know what I think of?
I'm like, hey, there could be a big board of spiky nails in there.
That's fucking insane.
Jackson, come back here. There could be a big board of spiky nails in
Oh,
there.
spiky nails, I know, right? No, but like people
For me, it
that
was like
put
slugs. It was like
okay,
Yeah.
so just yuckies,
Yuckies. Poop,
But
slugs.
like, there are people that put wire from tree to tree on a trail. Maybe this is a main thing because people would go like dirt biking or four-wheeling on trails that were on someone's property, and they would put like a wire across, and you know what I mean, stuff like that. It's crazy.
That is
but,
crazy.
Like people do things, right?
People do weird things. I always wondered about the idea. Did you ever see a study about like someone left a heroin needle poking out of a couch at like a punk rock club or something?
Sure, that sounds vaguely like an urban legendy kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Another puncturizer.
To me, that was like a late '90s, like, oh, be careful, don't sit on any dirty couches. Someone might have stuck a needle that's going to poke you. Oh, you know what? They did it. You know, it was on
payphones.
yeah, payphones.
In the
Oh,
the
yes,
AIDS
yeah.
needles.
Oh, I mean, now we're fully into urban legend territory, right?
What do you think is more likely, the payphone heroin needle or Ray's, board of nails?
You know, I'll
I'm
say
gonna go board of nails is more likely.
I think It's funny because you.
How about this? In 2024, statistically speaking, this sounds more like we're talking about the odds of life existing on other planets, because what I'm about to say is essentially the same argument. In 2024, you can find piles of leaves.
Sure.
Very easily, multiple ones.
I think so.
It's very rare to see a payphone, right?
Oh,
Good
And
point.
so
it's different.
statistically speaking,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
There's more opportunities for there to be spiky nail boards than there are heroin AIDS needles.
Yeah,
It's funny because like
AIDS are in.
the idea of someone on this podcast saying they're scared of jumping into leaves because there could be a bed of nails under it. Usually, you'd think that would be me.
I mean, I don't necessarily qualify
You
it
didn't
all
say
the time
a
as
bed
a bed
of
of nails.
Well, it's
There could be a swami in there.
Oh, this is so relaxing.
Oh, is this, you mean,
He's gonna make a snake come out of a basket.
what constitutes the bed? They're all in rows.
I guess so. I also don't mean just a board with nails in it. Like any kind of crazy sharp thing or a sharp rock or something, but intentionally. Put there.
So you're talking about the mischief maker who walks by and
Is
does
that
a shit-
mischief?
Well, I mean the bad mischief maker. You know how there's like the mischief makers like you when you stole the candy. That's a little mischievous. But then there's like
that's a sealed.
That's a boy crime.
That document has been sealed. You can't bring that up. I was a minor.
But then there's like the mischievous kids
Cole.
that are bad kids that like shoot a bird with a BB gun, for example.
Sure.
That's like a bad kid. You think the bad kid might be like, oh, I'm going to put this in there. Fuck those kids.
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, you think of like teens. Oh no, right?
Yeah.
Remember when you were young
Yeah.
enough where you would go high schoolers, right?
Oh, yeah.
At least for me, I remember that period of time.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It was people who were
And they were fucking Gen X. That's terrifying.
it was
you know,
people you felt like were like, these are not adults, but they're way taller and stronger than me.
yeah, and
what
there's
I mean?
a group of them, and maybe it's where I lived, but like genuinely, they loved doing like pranky, mean shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hate stuff like that.
Yeah,
I hate hurtful
we,
stuff.
We banded together as the younger kids, and we did kill one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they got to
Just
learn.
to send a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, hey, Trevor, are you going to jump in this pile of leaves? Don't. It's reserved for young kids. And
Yeah.
Trevor's like, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Takes off his shirt.
You know what was inside? Claymore mine. Yeah. Beep, beep, beep. Jump in the pile. Beep, beep.
Now I got to rake those again.
Yeah. Oh, the leaves are down here, and Trevor's all the way up there in the tree.
Why is it glowing and beeping?
We should have done this for Halloween instead of Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving,
I
and
think it works.
we're sitting here like, and then he murders him. Yeah, and he cuts his dick off and puts it in another pile of leaves for Chuck's gross out yucks. And he jumps in and he's like, oh my god, there's a human penis on my shoulder. Again.
It's not mine.
No, this works for Thanksgiving.
It's definitely not mine.
All right, so Ray is nervous about the bed of, the nails and rusty nails. I'm nervous about the shower door with the dildo. What are you scared of in the pile of leaves?
And you're saying mine is weirdly specific.
I said mine is equally
Your fear
weird.
is, what if there's another Chuck out there?
My fear
I
is
jump into every pile of leaves holding my own ankles up.
With your mouth wide open, like,
Oh go in one of them.
usually it's just an acorn.
but you do it enough times.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm nervous that the ground is 1 inch higher than I anticipated, and I'm going to roll both ankles, and I'm done forever.
I think you would have lasting permanent damage happen to you, where the last thing you say is, "We," right? Like you finally let go for 1 second, and then everything happens.
Well, he was diagnosed with this. This is true. He was diagnosed with a twisted pelvis from his father's homemade water slide.
Yep.
Hold on. For listeners only, I am fully gymming the camera right now. Say that sentence one more time for me.
It's so simple. Brad Roy
It's so simple.
was diagnosed with a twisted pelvis due to his father's homemade water slide. What don't you understand?
What is this? Are you from the 20s? The 1920s? Right? My father built a water slide in the back, see? Oh, my pelvis is all twisted up.
You're Mark Wahlberg, too.
Oh no, that would be like, oh my god, my pelvis is all twisted up.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you telling me you built a water slide in the backyard?
Doc,
Out of wood?
you built a water slide out of a DeLorean? I like that too.
Yeah.
That's fun.
When this thing gets to 88 miles per hour, your pelvis is going to get severely twisted.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Funbearable. I'm Brad Rohr.
I'm Ray. I forgot we were doing a podcast, Harrington.
And I'm Chuck. Happy to hear about this twisted pelvis state.
Here's what happened.
Real quick.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving to our viewer listeners. Also, I'm thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful for this respite, right?
Mm-hmm.
For this calming port in the storm.
I think
I
so.
really appreciate that we come together and we do this thing that is willful, like whimsy.
Willful whimsy.
Yeah.
My lawyer.
Willful whimsy. Yeah, the bow tie is spinning. Yeah. Oh my God, your defense attorney is the guy that did those infomercials in the 90s who looked like the Riddler.
Yeah.
He was all dressed in the question marks and he's like, I'm going to show you how to get money from the government. Yeah.
I like this.
That is fun. All right, so I'm very thankful for your insane past. Please tell me about your father's homemade water slide that twisted your pelvis.
So when my niece and nephew, would visit Indiana, my dad wants to entertain them. And because they were like 3 and 5 years old, an easy form of entertainment was to take plywood and Visqueen and, a soaker hose.
I'm going to pause real quick.
Okay.
Visqueen?
I also never heard of that.
Just plastic. Like
Like sheeting, plastic sheeting.
Plastic sheeting.
Yeah. Oh, so like Dexter Murder Room plastic.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Visqueen.
Yeah, I think that's
I was
what
going
it
to
is.
say construction worker wall stuff. You know what I mean? It
Sure.
keeps in the stuff.
But Visqueen sounds like the baddest ass. Oh man, why did I just completely blank on the name of this? I got very little sleep last night.
Yep.
For some reason, I
Yep.
couldn't fall asleep. Drag queen. Thank you. There we go. Visqueen sounds like the fiercest
leader,
drag
yeah.
queen. Yeah, like that's the one the other drag queens are afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soaker hose, and he had it running down the stairs of the back deck. So my parents have a raised ranch, and so it was just going down, and then like on trash bags into the yard, and the kids
On the stairs, is it just the plastic?
It's plywood. and
Okay,
then with,
so it did have almost like a ramp.
Yeah, like
Yes.
like PVC pipes on the side with the hose running through it, so water's running down.
Yeah.
and you slide down, and the kids are like, "We want Uncle Brad to go on it with us." First year, no problems. Mm-hmm. The second year, I went he's like, "I don't want us to crash into the shed."
His dad added a loop, an upside down.
I wish he added
Tony Hawk tested it.
he added just like a wedge to kind of turn you away from the shed.
Okay.
And I'm like, that seems weird. The first time I went down, I felt a jolt up my back to the point where I'm like, I can't do this again. I can't do this anymore. I don't know if I hit the wedge head on or what happened, but like I am in pain. And it continued and continued. I went to the doctor. They sent me to the chiropractor, and the chiropractor's like, "Oh, I see the problem. You got a twisted pelvis." And I told Chuck, and he loves it. And I'm like, "Your pelvis is twisted too, but yours is morally twisted." Yeah. So my dad
Yeah, go ahead.
did some did some research, and he's like,
Reiki.
"Yes." And
He did some Reiki on you.
I was going to say some light chiropractic
He's
work.
just doing healing hands. Healing hands.
The year before, the first year, it had been going off the top step, and so the slope was this.
Yeah.
The next year, it went off the actual deck, and so the slope was
Okay.
greater.
Yeah.
And the wedge, and somehow it bruised my tailbone, which is not a quick recovery time. I had just
Yeah.
turned 35, and I'm like, that's it. My body stopped healing. It's
Yeah.
over. I'm done with
And you
it.
had just developed that backbone.
Yeah.
He just started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's stunted.
Yes.
Yeah. But oh man, so
So yeah, they
Yeah.
twisted, and 6 months of chiropractic, like 3 chiropractor visits a week, and I was finally
God.
back to where I had been,
see, I was
7 months before.
I was with you until you said you were diagnosed by a chiropractor.
Yeah.
Because chiropractic is
Yeah, I know.
you know.
yeah, it's pseudoscience at best.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm scared of chiropractors.
So I think maybe your pelvis wasn't twisted.
It was.
I think this
X-rays-
chiropractor is always like, oh, it's another twisted pelvis.
Yep.
You're not going to believe this. It's a twisted pelvis. My neck hurts. Yeah. That's the pelvis for sure. Because you see, they're all connected.
It's all connected.
If there's a song I want you to listen to, the
I
hip bone.
It's connected to, the pelvis is connected to the neck bone.
Yeah.
What? I mean, I guess.
That's what a
technically-
chiropractor does.
Yeah.
I am hesitant about going to a chiropractor. I've never gone to a chiropractor. Of course, I believe very strongly in physical therapists, which I think is a different thing, even
Yes.
though they kind of deal with the same, they basically deal with the same issues. But chiropractor, and I'm sure there are ones that don't do the big neck cracks. I'm sure there are ones that don't go as hard.
Yeah.
But I don't get everything. I don't understand it.
It is a pseudoscience, right? I don't want to dismiss anybody that has felt relief by going to a chiropractor.
Right, 'cause a lot of people have.
However, I do think that a lot of the things that do give relief, I've gone to a chiropractor twice.
Oh, really?
And both times my experience with it was either one of the times like this did not help.
Yeah.
It's when it's before I found out I had a herniated disc.
Yeah,
Right.
right, you were
so I was
diagnosing.
so I was having the leg pain of sciatica and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Now we're just old men in a pile of leaves, which is another fear.
Yeah, that's true.
Old men could be in there. Right? You jump in, you got a Fogel situation
Yeah.
You
going.
just get so many cheek kisses.
Yeah. Jared Fogel's out there dressed in a ghillie suit. Painting his penis like a fire hydrant.
Yes.
So it's all our fears combined. It didn't help me, what he was doing, because I had a herniated disc.
Right.
And the chiropractor can twist and turn me, but it will not change this very real medical thing
Right.
that has its own set of things to deal with it, right? But I think a lot of those things that do feel good are like palliative care that you get from like physical therapy.
Yeah.
But physical therapy is also going to give you the things that you need to do
To maintain.
like slowly reduce this thing and then keep it from coming back.
Yeah.
With a chiropractor, it's really just like twist, crack.
Oh,
ah,
yeah.
You done?
My visits to her were like 6 minutes long, and then I'm out the door, and I would feel like, oh, it feels good to get your back cracked
Yeah.
for a little bit.
This is all stuff that Chuck has said about SWs.
Yeah. I was
6 minute
when
long
I said
visit.
6 minutes and out the door, I'm like,
Yep.
well, this is going to be a thing.
Feels good to get your back cracked. Yeah.
Yeah, so his pelvis went back to normal.
Yeah.
It untwisted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Chuck's still morally twisted.
Did your dad make any more water slides?
Yeah. He used the same one. I just refused to.
Participate?
Yeah.
Does he do it?
Yeah. Which is weird because he is, older than me.
It's Indiana. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I guess.
You know what I mean?
Really, what else
Yeah,
are you going
like,
to do?
the corn hasn't ripened yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you just like, I guess I just make a water slide.
One of my dad's like folksy sayings is that the corn should be knee high by the 4th of July.
Oh shit. That's Chuck's dating profile. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I gotta say, there's regular podcast stuff that we could talk about, but
There is.
isn't this kind of a special occasion?
It's a
is.
special occasion, and
Is that pivot all right, by the way?
I think that pivot's a good pivot. We're in the middle of this idea where we went to New Jersey and
Yeah.
we did some of these Tell 'em Steve Dave episodes, these crossover episodes with Tell 'em Steve Dave, who I work with. And
and we fought afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
Which was crazy. We were in the parking lot.
we couldn't remember which one of us worked with them.
Well, no, we fought them.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. We did
Yeah.
the whole, like, the West Side Story,
Yeah.
the
I mean,
bandana.
if you were a listener, have you seen Anchorman?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
It's that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And, I thought it was interesting because there's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
And, Tell 'em Steve Dave has a much larger
Litany, almost.
cast of characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like a fucking homeless shelter in there. And
By the way, it is like a homeless shelter in there.
Oh, yeah,
When
yeah.
you think about ghetto.
no, sure. I said it as a joke, and then I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't sure the wild card in it, Rupert.
Yeah.
Yep.
The wild card was Rupert because he's in that Tell Him Steve Dave world.
Yep.
But he's also his own thing.
Yep.
With reviewing history.
Yep.
And he's been on our podcast many times.
Yeah.
When this episode comes out,
at least 3
has the Rupert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a good one.
so if you were a listener, you already know, like he's part of the family.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised with what he was doing in the fight. He was really, I mean, playing both sides is too little of a description.
Right.
Yeah. Because he would dress in like full Tell Him Steve Dave merch.
Yeah.
Come at us hard. He was trying to retwist Brad's pelvis. Remember that part?
Yeah.
Because he knew it was a weakness.
Right.
And then he would dive in the back of his car. You'd see all the clothes fly around. He'd come back full Funbearable garb.
Yeah.
And then he'd go at Brian Johnson. Right for the knees, too, because they've been replaced.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It
Rupert's
was
like
really
that.
crazy.
He's a desperate boy.
Yeah.
But we are
At one point, Rupert just started fighting somebody else that was just like walking by.
Yeah, he jumped in his car, came out.
Ninja.
It was all FUBU. I don't know.
Fubu Ninja.
FUBU Ninja.
Then I look and he's like punching himself in the face. He's like,
Yeah.
get off me.
Very strange. Very
You're giving me
strange.
an erection. Oh, no.
So we're kind of like, we have one episode left in the TESD Town Takeover, which is going to be Jimmy next week for We Pitch You a Merry Christmas 3, which I'm very excited for. But yeah, so if there's any Tell 'em Steve Dave listeners who are kind of here for the first time, every Thanksgiving we like to do a very special thing. I don't know if one of you guys wants to explain what we do.
Sure. So the lore on this is interesting, right? Because
Yes.
there's a little bit of a obfuscation about where this really originated.
You know, I've been thinking about this, and I'd love to talk about this a little bit.
Okay.
I would love to.
Yeah. So there was previous to Funbearable,
Yes.
on your podcast,
Yeah.
the Chuck and Brad podcast.
Yes.
You guys developed this thing
Right.
that was called
Gibby the Thanksgiving Goblin.
Yes. And so I was aware of it, and then we were
Huge
talking
fan of it,
about
I think you had said.
we were talking about what we were going to do with Funbearable, and I had said, like, I don't think we need to do the Goblin, because Chuck had brought up doing something with the Goblin.
I think what I had brought up to Funbearable was I love the idea of every year we're trying to figure out a good Thanksgiving mascot. That was the original concept, and then I said. And I probably brought up Gibby the Thanksgiving Goblin.
Yeah.
Because that was the original genesis of that. But we never really stuck with that. We did it one time in a really short way.
Yeah.
And it went away. But then with Funbearable, we ended up starting, let's call it late summer.
Right.
And we were all kind of hyped up on the idea of big Halloween episodes and big Christmas episodes.
And
So
you brought up Gibby then.
I brought
and
up Gibby for Thanksgiving.
It was very the Bush presidencies, where the first time it happened, Desert Storm. And it was like, we're not doing it again, I promise. And then, here we go. Right back in to get Saddam.
Well, it's not the same name.
Yeah, Gibby's very much a Saddam Hussein character, I think.
oh, yeah.
But you swore on 17 Bibles that Gibby was gone. And then, lo and behold, our first Thanksgiving episode of Funbearable, a script was presented, written by the two of you,
Yes.
about Gibby the Thanksgiving
Ghoul. And by that point in time, we had done an episode of Funbearable where we had come up with I Pity the Ghoul.
Yeah.
And we had Kenny Rubanus make some amazing illustrations of that we turned into glow-in-the-dark stickers, funbearablepod.com.
Love it. I Pity the Ghoul is so fun.
Oh, it is very fun. And his artwork is like better than I could have hoped for.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, but here's I want to explain my Gibby thoughts.
Okay.
When I first
that journal that you have.
when I first did Gibby for Chuck and Brad podcast, it was actually like really, really short. I think it might have been like 4 pages, and it was more of, I don't think it was a poem, but it was like this, it was almost like Brad and I in this like Thanksgiving walk, and I don't remember what happened, but it was really, really short, and Gibby was almost like, it didn't have a voice, wasn't a talking character, so it was almost a blank slate. So when I brought it up, and you were like, I don't know about Gibby, I thought about it, and I was like, well, we didn't do anything with Gibby, though. We didn't actually have any direction for it. So I already do think that's a clean slate, but if we really want a clean slate, let's make it a ghoul instead. But here's the thing.
The cleanest slate imaginable.
Right.
But I guess here's my point. Gibby the Thanksgiving Goblin, the initial character, there was so little to that any sort of Thanksgiving mascot is the same concept because there was so little there.
Sure.
So it was like, well, we're just deciding not to use the name Gibby is really the only thing. It doesn't really, who cares?
Yeah.
And then we had Ghoul and Gib. Oh, that's fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Usually Ghoul comes with Gob instead of Gib.
Right. So there was so little there that I was like, well, we're not
Right.
really, we're not taking a thing that has all this weight that sucks.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, you had something that didn't have much weight that sucks.
No,
and then you
that's the thing is, why does it suck if there's nothing there? That's my whole point. Like, why do you dislike Gibby the Thanksgiving Goblin? I want to know. Spill the beans.
I didn't know anything about it other than the idea. You lean back and put your hands up like you won the case.
No, I'm just saying, Lowell, why didn't you like it then?
Because what you said was, hey, for the Thanksgiving episode,
Yes.
we did this thing, Gibby the Thanksgiving Goblin. And it's like, just that sentence alone, I'm like, I don't know if we have to do that. You know what I mean? And I stand by it. Quite frankly, whatever this has become, whatever it's morphed into, this is fun.
Yeah.
But it has, we've gone so far beyond whatever that initial thing was.
Yeah,
if I had known it was all of this,
Yeah.
But how could I?
Of
You
course.
didn't know. I didn't know.
Right.
Brad
Of course.
didn't know. And so we're here.
It evolved kind of organically between the three of us.
Right.
Where the idea has become, first year was pretty much me writing the script,
Yeah.
maybe a little input from Brad. And we foisted that on Ray, where, we were writing these three characters here in the way that, from my vantage point, so you got to poke some fun. And the idea was basically that you would get revenge next year by writing your own chapter 2.
Right. Yeah.
And then that has evolved into, well, how about every year the next one of us writes a chapter?
Right.
So this is year 3 of Funbearable.
Yeah, and to catch everybody up, to remind them, I mean, obviously you can go back, you were a listener, and
I'm going to put up a bonus episode right before this.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be the 2 Gibby stories in a row.
oh yeah, perfect.
So I think that's the way to go.
yeah,
every year,
absolutely.
you know?
And you'll know where we are.
Yeah.
I will say I'm intrigued by Brad here because Gibby, where we last left him, or it,
or her.
yeah, it's just it.
Yeah, I think it is better.
There's like they them, but I wouldn't even like
I've-
that's insulting to
I've
say.
I've tried to
about
spread
Gib.
and see what it is, and there's just more to spread. And
yeah,
you're just like
yeah.
you're halfway
There's a lot
in.
of stuff.
It's like a pile of leaves.
Yeah.
And guess
Right,
what I
right.
found in there?
Yeah, spikes. Yeah, so Gibby was, maybe dead, maybe not.
Right.
The body kind of vanished. But there was some lore incorporated into that. We now know where Gibby came from.
Yes.
And that's an interesting and intriguing situation. And there were a couple other hinty things there. How many? I believe in that script, it's revealed that Gibby is less its name and more its like classification.
yeah.
Yeah.
There can be multiple Gibbies.
Yeah.
And I know Chuck's already so excited to basically do like No Way Gib, and have all the
The
Gibbies from each
Gibby
story
verse.
come in. Yeah.
I will say, just for the audience, that is one of the fun things, is that each time someone gets to write the script, is they create more of the lore
Yeah.
that the next person then has to do.
It's essentially like a lore battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
lore. I like that.
Yeah.
Cannon battle.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, cannon fodder.
That is a word.
Yes. I'll say
Some fodder here.
I started writing this script for Gibby 3, I think 2 days after Thanksgiving last year.
Now,
Because
did you do Gibby 3 or did you do Gib 3 ye?
because I was like, I want Ray's script, Gibby 2, Gibby Rides Again, aka Gibbadelphia. I want that fresh in my brain when I start so I can get my
That
ideas
is true.
down.
That's what it says all on the VHS tape. It says all of those things.
And I was like,
Also, the idea of a main character having it be Rides Again
And dies.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
I was like, I want to get my ideas down, and I've tinkered with this off and on throughout the year. Did lore change? Maybe.
Well, lore can grow.
Lore changed. And
Yeah.
It's. I think about. I almost said grew. Is like the Friday the 13th series or the Nightmare on Elm Street series where the basics are kind of there.
Yeah,
But every
fair.
year you're like, wait, what? How could?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
years from now when somebody does a pitch doctors, does a franchise flashback on Gibby, they're going to be sitting in best video being like, all right, so what were the writers thinking?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would be
Between
amazing.
Gibby Rides Again
Yeah.
and the third Gibby.
The idea of at some point doing a franchise flashback on Gibby is the funniest thing I've
Oh
ever
my
in my
god!
life.
Just 3 other poor schmucks sitting in
Yeah.
that video store, and somebody being like, "Wait, was that before the paternity test stuff, or was
before Brad buried Chuck in the pet cemetery? Like, no, it's Halloween.
Yeah, no, that was Halloween. That was Halloween. No, but when the paternity test that they did, those three guys to see who was really Gibby's father.
3 men and a Gibby.
Yeah,
3 men and a Gibby.
yeah.
Oh, there we go.
It's really fun.
That is very fun.
Gibby versus Gibby.
Yes.
So there's a lot of places to go. Since we're creating the world's first official Thanksgiving mascot, and so many people care about how the legend grows every year, we have to take it really seriously.
Because we don't know. Maybe this becomes a religion,
That's the thing I'm thinking.
right?
That's where the
That's
money
the thing
is.
that terrifies
That's where
me.
the money really is.
That's,
Yeah.
that's an excellent
I mean,
point.
think of like the newer religions, right? Like Mormonism and Scientology are probably the 2 biggest, fairly modern
Right.
Yeah.
religions.
Yeah.
Money.
Money. I know.
Money.
Okay.
I know.
We've already got a kind of insane loud guy
Yep.
who's willing to jump on Oprah's couch. You know what I mean?
First of all,
you could
fuck
be the
yeah.
Tom Cruise of Gibbyology.
Oh, boy.
I guess so. I'll have to think about
Gibbyology.
Gibbyology.
We're
Yeah.
coming up with a lot of future titles.
Yeah, we sure are.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've prefaced enough,
Yeah.
and the FIS should go away.
Yeah.
And now we need to get into the art of FIS of this.
This
So-
is the
What did I just say?
This is the 3rd chapter in the Gibby
Saga?
Odyssey. Gib Odyssey.
Nope.
No.
So,
Honda Odyssey.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah.
so I wrote scripts.
Yep.
Ray and Chuck have not seen these scripts.
True.
As always, I will ask you to not read ahead. There are your lines that are not just Chuck or Ray are
Okay.
highlighted in the sense that
These other characters.
I had a marker, not a highlighter, so it's a green marker. So R
Okay.
is presumably for Ray, C is presumably for Chuck.
I
will
don't
be
think it's for Chuck.
I will be doing the stage direction / narration
Yes.
for Gibby 3, Planet of the Gibbies.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Oh, no!
Wow, this is amazing.
A card 1 year ago. We open on a suburban lawn. There is a stinky, wet, lumpy mess in the grass next to a starter jacket. We pan up and zoom in through the window to see Ray, Chuck, and Brad on Ray's couch watching Puddinhead Saves Thanksgiving. This is the end of last year's Gibby adventure. Wow! We pan back down to see the mess that was Gibby is gone. A screeching of tires. An unmarked black van is speeding away into the night.
Oh, that's good.
That is fun.
That's exciting.
Because at the end of
Yeah.
Philadelphia, the corpse disappears.
Right. And this is, yes.
This is good.
Oh, is it going to be Fox and Mulder?
Oh my God. I love it.
Card, present day. We are at Staten Manor. The surfaces are littered with DuckTales toys, Ninja Turtles figures, and AI renderings of Chuck as different animals groping different human women. Chuck is at his computer. Brad and Ray are waiting on the couch. Ray is drinking a large black coffee, and Brad is dipping a hot dog in oatmeal.
Oh!
Good.
Yep.
Oh no. Terrible news.
The doctors renamed them as Staten transmitted infections.
I wish. That would really get my name out there. No. My ISP is shutting down my internet. I've downloaded too many movies.
Really? They can do that? What movie put you over the limit? Hey, remember when I got in trouble for downloading a torrent of Rio, the animated bird movie? That actually happened.
Oh no, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. Some say you suffered already.
Well, it's not that type of movie. I mean, it's animated, but it's less of a bird, more of a tentacle creature.
Probably better than Jurassic World.
No big deal. I'll just set up my phone as a hotspot and... Oh no, my cell phone company said the same thing. Too many adult moving pictures.
What?
This sucks. The FCC shut down everything at my house, Staten Manor. No signals or in or out. Just because I'm hogging all the bandwidth in the whole world on downloading all the technically legal pornography I can find. Good thing I have another place to live and download, right? The Wendy's City, Staten Island.
Did you say Wendy's?
Oh, yeah. Staten Islanders love spicy chicken sandwiches. Can't get enough of them.
Look, I know we're all psyched about this nonsensical discussion, but can we start the podcast? I need to get home in 6 hours. I'm in the doghouse with my pillow wife, Suzuki Miyata.
Wow, you even brought in Suzuki.
Yep.
I really do appreciate
This is a good cast. It's so weird that you feel the need to refer to her like that. Like we'd forget the long history between you and Suzuki Miyata, your in-canon pillow wife.
And how are you in the doghouse with Suzukes?
Well, it's Thanksgiving this week, and her parents came to visit.
In-laws are the worst. Mine keep trying to convince me that the world is round. Like, how would water stay on if that were the case?
Suzuki asked me to set up a room for them. Instead of using the guest room like she asked, I just cleared off a shelf in the linen closet.
Rookie mistake. Like getting vaccinated. My boy Rogan speaks the truth.
Would you imbeciles focus? How are we going to upload the podcast if there's no internet at my house?
Either Ray or I could.
There's only one solution.
Filling out an appeal form.
Oh, I'm with you, Ray.
Just call the
Road trip!
Chuck and Ray hold their manic grins as Brad is confused. Brad looks back and forth between his two friends, then finally breaks the silence. To where?
The Department of Internet.
Washington, D.C., U.S. of A.
That's not smash cut to the trio in the car. Chuck is driving, Ray is riding shotgun, and Brad is uncomfortably wedged in the back seat. All three are holding microphones, and all three look exhausted. And we're sorry for being Funbearable. Ray presses the stop button on the recorder. All three let out absurd farts. Hilariously varying in pitch, tone, duration, tempo, and wetness. Seriously, when Ray adds sound effects to this part, it's gonna make you throw up all over yourself. Gross.
I can't believe we recorded a 4-hour episode, and we got through 2 questions from our mail sack.
I'm glad we gave the which Ninja Turtle are you question the thorough attention it deserved.
The boys pull over into a rest stop and get out and stretch their sore, jelly-like muscles. As they twist and turn and stretch and bend and crack and creak and lift and shape and turn and burn and snap and crackle and pop, a mysterious black van pulls in behind them. Trio doesn't notice.
That was a good joke.
Thank you.
Good news, guys. That hot chick I follow on Instagram is having a birthday tomorrow.
I'm jimming the camera. Mm-hmm. Sometimes fruit can hang too low.
The van's horn honks, but you can somehow tell it was an accident.
What was that?
I read that the state bird of New York is an eastern bluebird, so maybe that was its mating call.
My mating call... My mating call is an Instagram DM that says, hey, added you from Tinder, and a peace sign emoji. Can I give a side note about that?
Yes, please.
I had that when I was single. I had that in my notes app, so I could just copy and paste it when I would add.
Oh my God. If you're copying and pasting in dating.
Oh, he said in dating. I thought you said if you're copying and pasting and dating. And I was like, yeah.
Copying and pasting and dating. Oh my. Oh, I pasted it early.
So pasty.
Sometimes I get old newspapers and I mix it together and then I make models. All right.
Sorry, go ahead.
My mating call was asking women what their favorite candy bar is and then relating it to sex.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
I was waiting and finally I met a woman who said her favorite candy was fun-sized Bitto honey, and then I locked it down.
When I pee, it feels like I got Red Hots coming out down there.
Hey, can you open the back of the car so I can get my suitcase out? I shipped my pants during the ride and need a quick change into my evening wear.
That was the thing from Gibby 1. Ray
I like the idea of
Continued
the fact that I
incontinence.
must have shit my pants before, but I was fully invested in this conversation about mating calls.
I was gonna say it's funny because in the first one, all those shitting pants makes you look dumb. Now he's making you a regular character
Yeah.
who nonchalantly.
I shit my pants. I was like, when? Like just now? No, like 20 minutes ago. I was busy.
Brad opens the back of the car and is shocked when a pillow tumbles out. Suzuki Miyata? You said you were staying home with your parents. Well, I didn't plan on taking this road trip either. We just smash cut to it and I was here.
You're having an argument with You're taking this pillow in the best direction I've ever heard.
You also wrote in here pauses, right? So like you're listening to Suzuki.
They continue bickering and Chuck leans over to Ray.
So is her first name Suzuki or is her first name Miyata? I want to make sure we're being culturally sensitive to the pillow that Brad married.
I mean, she's cool with either. I mean, as laid back as a classic unagi roll.
The mysterious van looms larger and larger, rolling silently toward them, but the guys don't notice. Brad gingerly puts Suzuki back in the car, then rejoins Ray and Chuck. Chuck looks out at the highway and sees so many cars and trucks.
Ugh, why is there so much traffic?
Well, I mean, it is just before Thanksgiving, and people are traveling to visit their families, so there are more cars on the road.
Yeah, Chuck. Traffic is an absolutely normal part of life.
I just don't take traffic into account. Because the other cars aren't mine and aren't driven by me, so they don't matter.
The guys get back in the car and drive off. The mysterious black van follows. The trio arrive in Washington, D.C. They get to a fancy hotel and are giving their bags to a bellboy, but Brad and Suzuki and Miyata are arguing. I don't even know where we're going. Just hang out at the hotel and I'll be back tonight. No, there's nothing to worry about. We're all going to be together. We'll be fine. Look, just stay here. We'll do the White House tour tomorrow, okay? No, you are capable of making your own decisions, but there's podcast business to finish. You knew this about me before. Look, we have to go. Ray's going to shit himself again if we don't. Yes, I'll see you later. Love you too.
Well, that was awkward.
The only thing that can cover up that awkwardness is tourism montage.
The trio goes sightseeing. They stop at the Washington Monument, where Chuck uses trick photography to make it seem like the monument is his penis.
Yeah.
They stop at the Capitol building, where Ray pretends the dome is a boob he can grope. They stop at the Vietnam Memorial, where Brad is too scared to add a third joke here.
I'm just saying, if I were a female soldier, I would feel honored to have someone do that to my name.
No, and gross.
Hey, guys, it's almost lunchtime. Do you think we can stop by an Applebee's and eat good in the neighborhood? The neighborhood in question being Capitol Hill?
Chuck rolls his eyes and patronizingly pats Ray on the head.
Of course, little buddy.
Ugh, that's the most offensive thing I've read. Delighted. I have to do this delighted now. I know I've established my love for Applebee's, but somehow eating there for lunch feels even sadder than eating dinner there. I can't explain it, but it's part of my dining kink.
But right after lunch, we've got to get to the Department of Internet and turn Staten Manor back on.
The boys amble off, not noticing the mysterious figure climbing out of the mysterious black van to continue trailing them. We cut to the end of their meal at Applebee's. Chuck has finished his not-actually-healthy salad, Ray has eaten a mediocre chicken club, and Brad has eaten a foot-long hot dog dipped in a yard-deep trough of oatmeal. Chuck asks one more question of the waitress, who responds, then walks away.
Added you from Applebee's peace sign emoji. And send.
You know, I gotta say, it doesn't seem very Thanksgiving-y yet.
In this Applebee's?
Overall.
Yeah, where's the Pocahontas stuff? The reason for the season.
I added that line after we recorded our
Yeah.
I figured.
The trio get up and walk outside the restaurant and begin letting out farts again. But before it can get too gross, they are snatched by masked figures. Hoods are slammed down over their heads, and the trio is thrown into the back of the mysterious black van, which peels out, driving pell-mell into traffic. The trio sliding around in the back of the van, feeling every jostle and bounce as the van works its way to somewhere. After what seems like an eternity, they finally pull to a stop.
Did that give anyone else a direction?
Keep calm, everyone. We've got to keep our wits about us.
Where are we? I can't...
And yes, I did get an erection.
Nice. High five. Or rather, Low 1.
Chuck and Ray tap tips together.
I'm trying to do the sound.
The van doors open and the trio is yanked out and stood up. Their masks are pulled off to reveal a dramatically lit laboratory, the kind you can only see in movies. The mute enforcers who pulled their masks off stand at attention. A small speaker sits on a table in front of the boys. Before a voice comes out of it, though, it's time for a fight scene.
Whoa!
Oh my gosh, guys, it's such a cool fight. Ray does some rock and agility moves, Brad demonstrates unexpected power, Chuck's lethality is on full display. Whoa, can you believe they did that team-up move? These enforcers are strong. These enforcers are strong, but they don't compare to the might of the trio. So much action. Everything is a weapon. The speaker from the table itself. It's like wire work, but without the wires. Tony, John, Jet Li are like, whoa, and John Woo is taking notes so fast his pencil catches fire. It's the most awesome fight scene ever. It ends with the trio standing, still alive, breathing heavy.
That's what I call.
I guess you could say...
Oh, did you want to do the witty quip this time? I could.
No, you go first.
Are you sure? I mean, because if you have something...
I was going to make a joke about a knife, but if you want to...
No, I mean, it's good. It's good. I think I gave a witty quip back at Applebee's.
Flashback to Applebee's.
I'll take an iced tea, but make it from this... make it from his... Nope, I'm going to do that again. I'll take an iced tea, but make it from his time on SVU and not his cop killer days.
Back to the present.
Yeah, that was one of your best. I kind of think the moment has passed, though. Brad, are you okay?
Brad points to his throat and offers a thumbs down.
Oh, no. Brad got punched in the throat and can't really speak.
As the guys look a little sad and confused, a slow, wet clap can be heard from behind them. There's a strange aroma in the air, a cornucopia of scents that are like Thanksgiving staples, but just a little bit off. Like cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie, and turkey. Just not quite right. The trio turns slowly, knowing and fearing what they're going to see. Or should I say, whom they're going to see? Or, wait, is it a what? A whom? What's the qualification for personhood here?
Hello again, boys.
Gibby, you sound different.
My baby creature that I created through self-love and maybe a demon somehow? I don't know how the last 2 years tie in together just yet.
The very same. My team followed you all the way from Rhode Island. We would have picked you up at that rest stop, but someone pressed the horn. He has been dealt with. Then we thought you were going to stop at Chuck's place in Staten Island, but you continued here. Very convenient. We appreciate it. Take a walk with me, boys.
This voice is good. This is a good voice.
It's Lorne Michaels.
Take a walk with me, boys.
The door behind Gibby slides open, and the trio follows the slimy, mucus-like trail behind Gibby.
You got the mucus right. That's good.
Yes, they go through room after room, lab after lab. Things do not seem right. Everything about the geometry of the lab seems wrong, off somehow, like the angles don't quite add up. I don't know how to say this is Lovecraftian without bringing up his awful views on eugenics.
Everything in here reminds me of my personal hero.
Gibby radiates anger along with the musky scent of almost cooked leftover turkey. How can this Gibby be the lovable scamp we've seen in the past? Finally, the group arrives in a massive room. Gibby turns to address them.
I'm glad you made it. After all, none of this would have happened without you. We've come to realize that humanity is doomed, and Funbearable is evidence of that. Your inability to stay on task and avoid tangents are proof that the human race is flawed. You and your mostly dry skin, your bones that are solid, your skin that stays closed all the time, all inferior.
I think it's Brad in a mask. That last part was a dead giveaway. You're insane, Gibby. I thought you were just here to teach us about the true meaning of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, by which Ray means my friends and family getting to hang out with me.
Nonsense! That Gibby is worthless. Cast off. I don't even know where it is. I am the leader of the Gibbies. The Alpha Gibby!
Oh, no.
Gibby looks to the boys to see if they are impressed. They are not. Alpha Gibby continues.
Humanity is doomed. We've preserved the best and the brightest of humanity's personalities, but put them in superior bodies.
You don't mean...
Yes! In Gibby bodies!
A switch somewhere chunks on and the room lights up. It's a gigantic silo warehouse filled with pods, and in those thousands of pods are Gibbies.
What?
Brad still can't say anything. He points at his throat.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that.
You can see we've...
Fuck! Just wanted to finish the questions, so, yeah. Go ahead.
You can see we've labeled the tubes. And tonight, Thanksgiving Eve, we're going to replace humanity. And you three will witness the birth of the planet of the Gibbies.
That's crazy. You can't replace humans with Gibbies. Who are the best and brightest you've Gibbified so far?
Chuck wipes off the goo on one pod, and we see the name Bam Margera.
This tracks.
I'm wiping away a tear. They really did get our best and brightest. This plan makes so much sense.
Ray walks over to another pod and wipes the goo off the nameplate. We see the name Charlton Heston.
Yes, even dead celebrities. We're ready to remake the world in the image of Gibby, and nothing can stop us.
Nothing?
Well, there is the all-Gibby electronic kill switch located somewhere in this building. That would kill any Gibby who receives the signal, which is all of them. But you'll never find it. The only way you could get into that room is if you had a Gibby with you, and there's no way you can get a Gibby to go with you. Especially not with my Gibby robot security force on the way. These Gibbies can't flip the master kill switch, which I am telling you about to show you how powerless you truly are. A patented Gibby gloat.
That's good.
We see row after row of jackbooted Gibby robots marching / inching / oozing / rolling through their slime trails, advancing toward our heroes. Menace and musk radiate from their confusing, slimy bodies.
A gal.
I agree. All Gibbies are bangable.
And so, with Funbearable finally captured, our master plan can...
Suddenly, Alpha Gibby gets assaulted from above. A pillow has fallen on Gibby from way above, but not just any pillow. Suzuki Miyata! She and Alpha Gibby roll around on the ground. Brad mutely tries to help his pillow wife in this surprisingly competitive fight. The Gib bots start to help their boss, then pause, confused. Is it a fight? Is he trying to sleep? Is that Alpha Gibby's erection or just a lump of mashed potato? Chuck and Ray take advantage of the distraction to unlock 2 Gibby pods. Unsurprisingly, they are the pods of Gibbies we've already met. Unsure of which direction to go, Chuck and Charlton Heston go one way, Ray and Bam Margera go the other.
That's good.
Thank you. They have to find the all-Gibby kill switch. What an inconvenient device for the Gibbies, but a convenient device for the story.
The AGKS.
The men run, and the Gibbies locomote in their unique way through the halls, eager to get away from the Gibby security force.
Real quick thing. Can they walk like Colin Farrell in The Penguin? With that weird limp? You know what I mean?
We're not sure how they move.
Yeah.
Eventually, we focus on Chuck and Charlton Heston, stopping to catch their breath. Do Gibbies breathe? Their physiology is very confusing.
Okay. I think we can rest here.
That was a close shave, my bespectacled friend.
Whoa. You sound just like Charlton Heston and not Gibbified at all. There's no warble in your voice or anything.
Oh, can you imagine how a warbly Charlton Heston voice would sound? Get your hands off of me, you damn dirty human.
Whoa. If you keep talking to me like that, we're going to have to bang.
That would be lovely. I must warn you, though. I don't know which of my holes are for sex and which are for... I mean, everything else, really.
That's never stopped me before.
Meanwhile, in another part of the facility, Ray and Bam Margera are at a computer terminal trying to find a map.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
Just picturing it, and it's really getting to me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
the question of, like, which... This is a mean joke.
It's all right.
Like... The Gibby Margera
Yeah.
and the real Bam Margera. If you put a picture next, like put them like which one are you like? Oh, he's really struggling, huh? You know. All right. You think you could find the kill switch?
We're totally going to slime Apron Phil.
That's not what I need you to do. We need to find the kill switch. I can't live on a planet of the Gibbies. That's too many ghouls.
I'm going to drive my Lambo underwater.
What's going on? It's like there are only a few things you, Bam Margera, can say in your classic Bam Margera voice.
Yeah, whatever the fuck I want.
Enraged and frustrated, Ray kills Gibby Bam Margera.
Well, I'm never going to find a kill switch now. You know what, though? It was worth it. Unless I can find another Gibby, we're doomed. Well, I did my best.
Losers whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Oh, so we're really doing this, huh?
Meanwhile, Chuck and Charlton Heston are having better luck.
After an orgasm that earth-shaking, I would normally have a cigarette. A Winston, unfiltered. But I'm not sure if I have lungs or gills or just photosynthesize, so I'll have to hold off for now.
Wow, I am spent. Were those boobs I was fondling, or...?
Honestly, those may have been my kidneys. I mean, maybe my calves? I'm not sure. Shall we continue trying to find the Gibby kill switch?
Sounds like a plan, Charlton Heston.
Back to Ray. He is surrounded by a pile of Gibby corpses. Gibby Sean Connery, Gibby Jason Statham, Gibby Christopher Walken, Gibby William Shatner, Gibby Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Gibby Gilbert Gottfried.
Gibby Gilbert Gottfried.
Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Gibby Gilbert Gottfried.
Just all the Gibbies with easily imitated speech patterns and one or two phrases someone could try and imitate. Dead, dead, dead.
Yeah, it's like a middle school playground from the 90s.
Yes.
I think someone has to call out which Gibby I am before I do the voice, though.
Okay.
Because the other one, I don't know if good people understood was Sean Connery.
Listen, Gibby Pee Wee Herman, just tell me where the control room is.
Ray rages and kills Gibby PW. The door opens again.
Oh no, I can't keep doing this. Can you please tell me where the Gibby control room is? Oh God. Gibby Mr. Bean? Gibby. Okay, I can work with this. All right, lead the way, Gibby Mr. Bean, or shall I say, Mr. Gibby.
Ray laughs hysterically at his own joke and follows Gibby Mr. Bean out of the room. We cut back to the fight between Suzuki Miyata and Alpha Gibby. AG is limping.
How do we Foley that? How do we Foley wet mush hitting pillow? There isn't a Foley artist in Hollywood that could do that.
And be like, all right, I guess we'll dump some applesauce on a pillow.
No, that's more smacky.
We're just in a room with pillows and like slimes and gravies.
Yeah.
We're like, let's get to work.
Let's try it. Let's
There's
try
all
it.
microphones everywhere. Yeah.
All right. So far, what we found is the most realistic is a Ziploc bag of loose Jello hitting a Tempur-Pedic pillow.
AG is limping / sliding / oozing / seeping out of the room. Brad holds his wife's dying body, which is somehow shredded despite the confusing surface of Gibby. Tears stream down Brad's face as he tries to speak to comfort his wife's final moments. He leans in close to hear her final words. She takes her final breath, and Brad lets out a wordless scream of rage, terror, and fury, and grief sent soundlessly into the world. Chuck will let us know what that sounded like. Fueled by rage and a lust for vengeance, Brad sets off after Alpha Gibby. Meanwhile, Chuck and Gibby Heston have met up with Ray and Mr. Gib Bean outside a door that reads, Gibby Control Room, all Gibby kill switch located inside.
You're okay. I was so worried, Chuck.
We got delayed because of the layout of this building. Were you with Gibby Bear Margera when you left?
Yeah, he got spooked by a snake because he famously that it happened to him. So I'm just damn glad to see you both are okay. Good point. Gibby Heston, why does your breath smell like Chuck's desk?
I can't lie anymore. We knew the layout of the building. It took us long to get here because I banged Gibby Charlton Heston. Or he banged me? I'm not sure. There was just a lot going on.
I think it was the latter. I can't lie anymore either. I killed Gib Bam Margera.
No! Who will give his Nobel Prize acceptance speech now?
Would you pansies get yourselves together? People fuck, okay? People die. That's part of life. That's what makes life living. In fact, that's what makes life worth living, I think it would be. No, see, this is the problem with Hollywood screenwriting. My favorite thing about living, which I will continue to do for a long time, is
Gibby Heston's explodes. Gibby Heston's head explodes as a bullet rips through it. Chuck and Ray look at Gib Bean, who is holding a gun and trying to maintain that it was all a misunderstanding, and his gun couldn't possibly have blown up Gibby Heston. The facial expressions are out of this world. British people everywhere are hailing it as the height of physical comedy.
Accidental discharge. At least we still have the one Gibby we need to shut off the...
Gib Bean's head blows up as well. He inadvertently shot himself. Well, it was a good run for humanity. A fair run. A run. Chuck and Ray look down the hall and see Alpha Gibby is advancing toward them, holding a smoking gun. Not far behind him, we see a troop of Gibbots advancing. Chuck and Ray yank open the door and dive inside and try to pile things in front of the door. Shockingly, the use of a box of tissues in Chuck's wallet doesn't get it done, and Alpha Gibby enters, still holding his gun.
Finally, I can put an end to this scourge once and for all. Any final words, my stinky little skunklings?
I love my wife and child very, very much.
Ray's delivery on that line was perfect, incredibly natural.
Oh, thank you. It's the easiest scripted line I've ever had to say because I mean it in real life.
No talking to the narrator.
In fact, I love them almost as much as I love Applebee's Sunday brunches.
I would like to deliver my final words as well, if that's okay with you. Ray, if you're finally done going on and on about how much you love your little family, about how...
I wasn't going on and on. I said one thing about my family.
This is how you always are, hogging all the airtime so people don't get to hear my genius thoughts about how penguins are fish.
They're birds.
You're a bird.
Chuck shoves Ray. Ray shoves Chuck's back. The two grown adult men engage in a slap fight. Alpha Gibby can't decide whom to shoot first and starts to panic. Finally, he fires into the ceiling.
We have cartoon guns.
Quiet, you numbskulls!
But I didn't get my last words.
Fine, go ahead.
I have but one thing to say. Please shoot Ray first. Thank you.
Hey!
Alpha Gibby raises his gun, aiming it at Ray. Chuck smiles a relieved smile. When, suddenly but unsurprisingly, Alpha Gibby is tackled by Brad.
Phew.
The gun goes off. Neither Ray nor Chuck gets ventilated. Ray takes advantage of the confusion to press the all-Gibby kill switch. Nothing happens. Chuck drops an elbow on it. No dice. This would have been the perfect opportunity to kill all the Gibbies. Across the room, Brad, full of rage at the death of his pillow wife, soundly beats Alpha Gibby to a pulp. Fist after fist of fury smashes into AG's gross face. Alpha Gibby can't fight back, can't defend himself. Brad reaches for Alpha Gibby's gun.
Brad, don't do it.
We need a Gibby alive to trigger the kill switch to turn off all the Gibbies.
Brad, look into your heart.
Brad, still shaking and quaking with rage, stares at Alpha Gibby, the bloody, beaten mess of a creature. Okay. I forgive you. Chuck and Ray are relieved. But my pillow wife don't. Alpha Gibby is dead. With the Gibbots approaching, there is no time to free another celebrity Gibby to press the switch. Brad lunges for the all-Gibby kill switch and slaps it. Nothing. The Gibbots march/tread/ooze/seep into the room. A few shots from the Gibbots force Brad back to Chuck and Ray. The guns are pointed at the trio. Brad, realizing his anger has doomed them all, stands up next to his friends to face their ultimate end. The three hold hands, ready to Thelma and Louise their way to the next world.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is it. The dark 30 seconds of the soul.
Oh, it's like that scene in one of the Toy Story sequels where everybody's like, "Whoa, are we doing this?
Yeah.
Are we doing Buzz and Woody do the Holocaust?"
Yeah.
I love you guys.
I love you guys too.
I love me and also you guys too.
As the Gibbots advance, the boys take an involuntary step back. The end of humanity. Even worse, the end of Funbearable. As the trio continues to inch backwards, they slip on Grovey or Steffing or something Thanksgiving-y.
That's funny. Yeah.
All three of our heroes lose their balance. They flail, falling backwards toward the control panel. In slow motion, we see one hand from each of them striking the Gibby kill switch at the same time. To our surprise, the button moves. The panel lights up. Kill sequence initiated can be heard and seen all over the place. The Gibbots turn on each other. Carnage! Metal and mucus explode in sparks and splooshes. The three soft boys all hide behind each other, breaking the laws of physical science, but manage to avoid any damage. When the shooting stops, they stand up. Are you guys okay?
I think so. I mean, I still can't sleep at night because I'm obsessed with the concept of death, but...
Checking my hair and my camera. I can't be alone with my thoughts, so I have to fill every vacant second with noise about the just least important stuff.
And I can't stop self-sabotaging.
Back to normal. We survived.
And I only shit my pants twice.
Is Suzuki...
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Why didn't she just stay at the hotel? Then she would have been safe.
Well, if she had stayed, we wouldn't have gotten free. And if we hadn't gotten free, we wouldn't have ended the infestation of Gibbies around the globe.
Yeah, we saved the world. I can only imagine what it's like out there now that all the Gibbies have been deactivated.
There's a quick montage of planes with Gibby pilots crashing. Cars with Gibby drivers running off the roads. Trash piling up between Gibby sanitation workers have expired. A PA knocks on a door with a star on it and says, "Mr. Lucas, are you okay in there?" Then opens the door and screams. The Gibbies are dead and the world is in chaos.
I knew it would end this way.
The trio walks out of the Gib building and onto the streets of Washington, D.C. There are fires raging and looters running around. It's a mess. The guys ignore it. As Thanksgiving-appropriate music plays, the boys walk into the Department of Internet building. The Gibby receptionist is slumped over, offal and viscera and excrement surrounding it. Chuck grabs a key card from the desk.
Don't mind if I do.
He walks to a computer and sits down. He clicks and clacks at the keyboard and is confused, frustrated. Ray walks out of a bathroom, tossing his loaded diaper toward a trash can. It misses. He sees Chuck's confusion. He sees Chuck's confusion and walks over to help. One glance at the screen.
Hey, this is Unix. I know this.
That's a great reference.
The screen reads...
What is the reference, though? I'm lost on that.
It's like the dumbest thing in Jurassic Park is that Lex goes over and she goes, "This is Unix. I know this," and that's how they shut off all the gates.
I missed the ref. Okay, that's really fun. I like that.
It's kind of a deep
Bravo. That's great.
The screen reads State and Manor Internet, and with a simple on-off choice, Ray clicks on and gets a signal restored message. Chuck looks relieved, and the three friends walk out into the DC evening.
We did it, guys. We destroyed all the Gibbies. Hey, I got a message from that hot waitress from earlier. It says her name is Natalie. Let me send her a quick text. Hey, girl, what that ass do? Sent. Wow, a Thanksgiving miracle. I love you guys. Where do you want to celebrate?
I mean, my first choice is obviously Applebee's. No. Wait, hang on. Hang on just a second. I don't need to celebrate every milestone in my life at Applebee's. I've learned I can eat good anywhere, as long as my friends are with me. So, canonically, my favorite restaurant is no longer Applebee's, and we can put that joke to rest. Happy Thanksgiving, older than me chums.
Happy Thanksgiving to us all, everyone.
I don't think that's going to stick.
Yeah. The guys are content.
Hey, maybe when we get home, we can record a few episodes of the podcast about this. Everything from our autumn walk around Warren a few years ago to the Gibbidelphia incident last year to this trip to D.C.
We can tell the world the truth about Gibby. The three pals pause, then Ray finally speaks.
But who would ever believe us?
Oh, they laugh and laugh and laugh. As their laughter echoes, we get another montage of people emerging from their homes. Shots of a child getting on a school bus, waving to her parents. A man in a train conductor's uniform throws a Gibby corpse off the train and waves commuters on board. A flower breaks through a small crack in the Staten Island sidewalk next to a discarded spicy chicken sandwich wrapper. Craig Depina drops trow and absolutely sandblasts diarrhea on Chuck's front door. This is the new normal.
Craig Depina is our editor, and he's a great guy.
We see the boys sitting down together for Thanksgiving dinner at the Lincoln Memorial, surrounded by their loved ones, all enjoying their time together. Brad feeds Rosie a small piece of turkey. Applebee's Natalie is pointing out gravy on Chuck's face, and he's pretending not to realize it's there. Ray offers a spoonful of mashed potatoes to the giant Lincoln statue, and everyone laughs.
That's a Ray joke if I ever heard one.
The very idea.
We pan away from them and up into the night sky. The credits start to roll. All the important names are mentioned. Brad, Chuck, Ray, Craig, George Lucas as himself. Amazing. But then the credits end and we get a scene after the credits. It's back in Staten Manor. The camera goes from the living room through the kitchen. The shot goes down the spooky basement stairs and around a pile of Halloween decorations. Hey, is that a teenage girl in a cage in the background? No, pan quick. There, on the floor, we see a disgusting pile of grayish, gravyish, mucusy flesh. A head pops up. Gobble. The end.
Oh.
That was great.
And you said, and it, right here at the end, it said the one that did the gobble is the Omega Gib.
Yeah.
I love this. That was great.
Man, that's a lot of fun.
That
Bravo.
was very good.
Bravo.
Very, very good. I like that all the scripts have been super different.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think
Yeah.
that's really, really fun.
Just trying to end the Applebee's and the Suzuki Miata thing. I think those are my two goals.
You wanted to end them.
Yeah.
I don't think Applebee's will go away.
Yeah.
I think it's too. I think you like it too much.
I do like it
right?
a lot.
It is
Because there's going
funny.
to come a situation where you're going to be like, ooh. And if it makes you feel better, the Suzuki Miata thing, that exists in like.
That exists in the Monster Mash timeline, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it exists in like the holiday stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like maybe Suzuki only comes around on the holidays.
Right. Yeah, that was introduced.
It's not a great marriage.
Introduced in the I think the first Funbearable Halloween special
so,
is where we introduced.
Yeah, I
it.
think so.
The
Yeah.
Monster Mash one. Yeah, and fun deep cut that Brad knows, Ray doesn't know. So Natalie, Brad referenced, she really did work at Applebee's. That's why she's the waitress at Applebee's. Which I
Gotcha.
get.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good stuff.
It's just a happy coincidence.
Yes, it is. That was great though. I do like that it went in such a large direction.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want Ray to do Charlton Heston, and then I'm like, well, what voices can Chuck do? And I'm like, Bam Margera,
Jason Statham,
sort of Jason Statham.
Dr. Dre when I'm rapping.
When you say the N word.
I'm Dr. Dre. I'm rapping.
So yeah, it was.
Why did we take this shortcut through Harlem? Well, my name's. We started with my name's Chuck Staten.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It was Dr. Dre being a character.
Yes.
Good stuff though.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun to write and kind of poke at throughout the year, where it was one of those things where I'm like, oh, like why is this car following us at the rest stop? And
Yeah.
it's one of those, I'd like, oh, I want to get that stupid, like, smug Brad know-it-all, like, it's an Eastern Bluebird, so that Chuck can get the line about his mating call so that we can pay it off when he's at Applebee's.
Mating call is great. That's very funny. Did you come up with Planet of the Gibbies first and then go backwards?
I don't think so. I think I just had the idea of Gibby taking other bodies, and then it was like, oh, okay, well, what title makes sense for this?
I love Planet of the Blank.
Yeah.
And so I had already, because next year it's back to me and I have to write chapter 4.
Yeah.
I had already thought, like, should I do a Planet of the Gibbies? What would that be? And that was great. That killed it.
No, I love the
awesome.
idea of
Gibby
celebrity
fight.
Gibbies.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's
That is a
funny.
lot of fun.
Yeah, very,
Well,
very good.
and then the idea of like, I'm basing the celebrities on the voices available.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if Ray's doing Charlton Heston, I don't want him to have to do Gibby Alan Alda as well. And
Yeah.
so it's like, all right.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was very fun.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Oh yeah, we didn't see a Gibby Alan Alda.
Not
so
yet.
They could always come in.
Oh yeah.
later.
So now from where my starting point is,
Yeah.
we have the Omega Gibby, which I have to think is the only Gibby alive.
That's true
We'll have to
because
see,
there
but-
were no signals into or out of Staten Manor when the all Gibby electronic kill switch was pressed.
Right.
That's
Yeah. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. See,
that's how that Gibby survived.
This was fun
Yep.
having multiple Gibbies. I like a traditional solo Gib.
Yep.
And so I think this is like a fun chapter of the story where you can play in that space. I think I'd be bummed out if it next year was like, and now there's like 10 Gibbies or there's 3 Gibbies, whatever it is.
Well, it's funny. I mean, the direction I'm not going to go in, but is funny for a joke.
Yeah.
Is Gibby Chapter 4, Planet of the Gibbies Part 2.
Sure, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's funny for a name
great.
thing.
That's a great title.
It's a funny title, but I'm gonna have to start cooking.
Yeah.
I like the method of being like, I'll start jotting down ideas now, which is what you did, and then just kind of think about it throughout the year. I think that's
I just
cool.
had an idea for 2 years from now. Holy shit!
2026.
Holy shit!
Really,
Well, it's a very fun thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
He's been telling me about this since last year, and I've been like, I can't
Right,
wait. Like
right.
in August, we were talking about all 3 of us
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's good stuff, man. It's fun.
honestly, I'm super proud of the Wendy's City, and then
Me too.
and then
Yeah.
having it pay off again at the end.
No, that's
Yeah.
great. The
Spicy
Wendy
chicken
cities were
sandwiches,
great.
so.
Good stuff, man. Well,
Very fun.
I
Very
appreciate
fun.
it. I think
Now
Thank
I
you
can-
for writing it.
Now I
Yeah.
can relax.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And for any listeners, if you're new to the podcast, we do scripted stuff occasionally. And I believe, because a few people have asked me to collect them all, I think there's a YouTube playlist on our YouTube where it says all the scripted episodes.
Okay, yeah.
Where we bring scripts to the table.
Yeah, I think that's something we all love to do. Genuinely,
Yeah.
It is so much fun because the core element there, the crux of all of them, is in some way, shape, or form. There are people of the 3 that just have no idea what this is.
Yeah.
So it'll either be one of us wrote the thing, or 2 of us wrote it for someone else.
Yeah.
And it's always this question of like, what is this possibly going to be?
Yes.
And it's just like a series of roast jokes, and it's very fun.
Yeah.
And then there's the other element with Strangers in Fiction, where none of us know
Right.
what's happening. We've paid someone else to write it.
Yeah.
And we have no idea. And there is something really fun and like there's a performative thing there that I really enjoy. It's always fun.
I love it too. And one of the things I appreciate about all of us, but definitely you guys, is just being like fully into the characters regardless of where it takes us.
sure. Yeah,
being
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no matter how embarrassing it
Can
gets.
you imagine if any of us were just like, I mean, I don't really want to do, you know what I mean? Like that, or like pushing back, like that's fucked up. Like, that's fucked up.
It's just fun to gleefully be an idiot or
Yeah.
a character of yourself. It's
Yeah.
fun. No, I love it. I think it's very, very fun. And
I think there's a part of it too where it's like, I want to deliver the joke that you wrote.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
exactly.
Yeah. And like, I feel bad because there were a couple of like phrasings in there that kind of threw me for a second.
Yep.
And all I was thinking was like, oh, I wanted to nail the joke delivery.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Exactly. I often look at I know exactly what you're going for with
Yep.
me, and I'll just wait and do it as boldly and as stupidly
I'll
as possible.
say you nailed. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
I mean that's Simpsons.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
a little bit.
my question is this: so this is the third entry
Gibby. Yep.
in the Gibby saga, the Gaga.
No,
Nope.
I don't like it.
Sibby. No, that sounds like a Sibian, and that's that sex toy thing.
Yeah, you can write it.
Yep.
Man or woman?
Ooh, what if that's under a pile of leaves?
Then see, this is what I'm saying. Oh no! I
live here
Oh wait!
now.
Oh yes! Yeah. No. So my question is this: like after the first story was told
Right.
that Chuck you wrote,
Yeah, Chuck
I-
Squanto Staten.
I said jokingly, I think it's going to be like a Gibbadelphia.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, it ended up being a Gibbadelphia.
Right.
Unintentionally.
Yes.
Pairing it to that. And then we had the second storyline.
Right.
And then did you have like a rough? Did you have an instinct initially of like, this is where I want to go?
It was let's get other Gibbies. That was the idea, and then it
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, how do they get there? The road trip stuff, which we also used in our live Halloween script thing.
Yep.
And so I think it was kind of just a combination of like extra Gibbies, like road trip. All right, why are they going wherever they're going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the idea of how can we get this post-credits Gibby? Mm-hmm. And then it's, well, all the internet was off, so
Yeah.
this Gibby couldn't receive any signals. There's no signals going into or out of State Manor. I'm like, I hope that I hope it's not too obvious.
Oh, I didn't think about it.
No, I didn't think about it either.
That I was like, let me introduce it, and then we'll move past it. So it's such a
Yeah.
stupid, like, the Department of Internet.
Yeah.
Sure. But what a kind of true to form third movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what about a lot of them.
Yes.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, excuse me, like Iron Man.
Right.
With Iron Man 3 of
And
like
Venom that just came out.
yeah, we got to have a whole bunch of them.
Venom 3 ended with an orgy of symbiotes.
Yeah. It's
and then it ends, and then there's the post credits sting of like, but did it really end?
Yeah, of course.
little
of course.
sludgy guy.
I got an idea for next year too.
That was going to be my question. Like, did this give you an inspiration kind of thing?
It gave me an inspiration for a direction thematically in terms of like the way I want the thing to feel.
Sure.
And also an idea for a hook of how to do it and a different way to play with the characters of us.
Yeah.
Because I really did like the idea of setting us off into two different groups of Ray and me doing a character and me and Ray doing a character and cutting back and forth. You can make like, A and B storylines. And I have an idea for next year that's going to be really fun, I think.
Great.
Perfect.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks, Brad.
Well, happy Thanksgiving,
Genuinely.
buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving to all of us.
And the
Yeah.
world gets another chapter in the official Thanksgiving mascot.
Just
That
when the
is
world
Gibby.
needed it the most.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's what'll save us. Another Gibby.
No one knows we're recording this the day after the election.
Yeah.
Well, folks out
Turns
there,
out the Gibby's won.
if you have questions, comments, concerns, or otherwise, send us an email, funbearablepod@gmail.com, or find us on socials at funbearablepod. Always happy to hear from y'all.
And we hope you have a lovely Thanksgiving yourselves.
Absolutely.
Whether that is with friends or family or just by yourself in a padded cell.
Where most of our listeners reside.
No, do you know how much listenership, like whenever I talk to a company about sponsorships and stuff, I have to mention like our numbers are this, but it doesn't reflect real outreach because we are played in most insane asylums
Yeah.
Right.
and mental health wards
Right.
and a lot of that stuff.
Also, like a lot of government holding facilities for enemies of the state.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Just blaring it.
They said we putting our podcast on full blast
Yep.
is a Guantanamo Bay favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said that's how they got Osama to come out of the cave, right?
Yeah.
They put the speakers down the hole and he ran out.
And he was
right?
like, fine.
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
It's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you said famously when Osama bin Laden's little den was found and they found all that porn and stuff, you were like, I mean, maybe this guy's cool, right? Like you were like, let's hear him out.
Well, you got to separate from the art from
Art
the
for
artist.
the artist. Yeah. Oh my God.
That's not what I meant to say.
Let's very quickly end this episode.
What a ride we've had. By the way, we've experienced we started this episode talking about, the horrors that you could find in a pile of leaves.
Right.
We've also learned that there's two more kinds of horror you can find. A Gibby
Yep.
in the pile.
Yep.
Yep.
Yuck.
Yep.
I'd rather take the spikes.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Or B, the worst one. There's the three of us. Just in the pile, right? And being like, have you ever thought about doing weird little performative jokes?
What if I write that you say you're an asshole?
What if I write a thing that makes you say a thing about yourself and it's so funny, right? Like, yeah.
And it's that you like a chain restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
Comedy.
this was really fun, genuinely,
Yes.
and good times.
I love this tradition. It's very fun.
Sorry, I'm now getting into the Thanksgiving spirit a little
Yeah.
bit.
That's
It
what-
took all of this,
That's what
Yeah.
Gibby does.
and it got us there. And I just remembered one thing.
Yes.
There is a bright light in this dark, dark tunnel of 2024, the tail end of.
Is it Chuck's Thanksgiving sandwich?
I was going to say, it's the Thanksgiving sandwich. It's the sandwich after Thanksgiving.
I know.
That is the light in the tunnel.
Oh, I'm planning it now. I have a calendar reminder in my email to buy pumpernickel rye
Yep.
swirl bread before Thanksgiving every year
Yep.
to make my perfect sandwich.
Honestly, I look forward to the sandwich after Thanksgiving more than I do the Thanksgiving meal.
It's a
the
tie,
Thanksgiving
yeah.
meal for me. I'm like, yeah, it's good, it's fine. That sandwich is special.
The sandwich is, I can't wait.
I'll say I'm eating the Thanksgiving meal in front of other people. I'm eating the sandwich alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
He puts blinders on Rosie when he does it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Don't look at me.
Yeah,
Shame.
Hand me the mirror.
Let me ask you though, for your Thanksgiving sandwich.
Yeah.
I know we're at the end, and we've already said the
mine
things.
is plainer than yours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mine is very specific.
What yours is specific? Okay, hit me.
I need pumpernickel rye swirl bread. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's the perfect bread. I go turkey,
That's crazy.
Stuffing.
Yeah.
Combo.
Combos? Which ones? Pizzeria or
Oh, yeah.
nacho pretzel?
Combo. Mayonnaise on the bread.
Uh-huh.
And then slices of cranberry sauce on the bread.
You put are they immediately next to each other, like touching?
I
That's weird.
want it together.
Yucky.
Mayonnaise, cranberry, stuffing, turkey, and then I have a little gravy on the side, and I just do a tiny dip here and
like a
there.
jus?
Like an au jus.
Yeah.
An au gray.
Yeah.
How about you?
That's you kept doing that when we were in Paris. And you kept saying "oh jus," and you were saying it when you saw someone you thought was Jewish.
Yeah,
And it was very strange.
Oh, jus.
Jus. Anyway, no, for me, I do. It's interesting. Like my wife, Kalina, is very like you put mayo on the bread.
Okay.
I grew up with like you don't do that. You don't do that, right?
What do you mean? What do you do?
No mayo. However, my mom has the same mental illness that Brad has for food. So she's
Plania.
a planiac as well.
Right.
She really is. So I understand. You know what I
Right.
mean? That's like when somebody I don't even want to say the joke. I
Say
don't
it.
want to say it. No, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
Say it, Ray.
It's like when
Say it, Ray.
it's that idea of like when someone has someone in their life with diminished capacities.
Sure, that's fair. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
and
healthy.
then when somebody goes, "Oh, I get it," my cousin
Yeah.
is
Yes.
mentally diminished.
Yes.
So I understand that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from with this.
Tastefully.
I'm so sorry.
all right.
We should cut all of that.
You have bread.
Bread, thank you. I will do mayo. I'm open to it,
Okay.
but I don't need it.
Turkey and
Does
mayo.
that make sense? Turkey. I agree. If it's like a regular sandwich, you got to have the mayo.
Yeah.
But then, because I feel like there's enough wet, right? But then stuffing, got to have the stuffing. Cranberry sauce for sure. That's why I like the solid cranberry sauce, like the jelly.
Well, that's what I
kind,
want.
The can.
That's what I put on the mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then it depends on what might be left over. It kind of shifts.
I can find a yam can find its way into my sandwich.
What also can find its way onto my sandwich is my wife's green bean casserole that I love. It might be my favorite thing at Thanksgiving. I really like it, and it's got like a those crispy onion things.
Yep.
It's got that on top of it, so it
That's-
fits very nicely into that. That gives you the gravy vibe, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And that's the sandwich, and it's so good. And what you want is an almost unmanageable mess.
That's exactly
right. Like 2 hands for half of the sandwich, and you're just like, I got it.
After you
gotta
pick it
eat
up,
it over a plate.
After you pick it up, it's the point of no return.
Yeah. You
It's the
can't
windmill is
physically
back-
put this down, otherwise it will just become more of like a moosh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A moose bouche.
For me,
What'd you call me?
for me, the bread is like, I don't know, like 6 inches long, and then I take the turkey and I jam it into an intestine, and I get a tube of it. I put it down.
A turkey dog.
Just ketchup.
A turkey dog.
No, for me, it's turkey stuffing, maybe potatoes and gravy. No cranberry
Potatoes?
sauce. Yeah.
Mash?
Yeah, some mashed potatoes. With gravy as my sauce.
If I didn't have
That's what your bumper sticker says.
It is.
Gravy is my sauce.
if I didn't have all the other stuff, I could put mashed potatoes on it. But to me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
turkey stuffing, cranberry sauce, mayonnaise, and a little gravy on the side is enough.
Man, I'm so excited about this, and like
It's the best.
I'm genuinely pumped for that sandwich now.
Do you like the combination of the taste of mayonnaise and cranberry in general? You just want them touching? Because I love the sweetness of cranberry sauce and the saltiness of mayonnaise together.
I don't know. I would like to keep them separated in the sandwich.
Right.
Separate but equal. You know what I mean?
You get them both at the same time.
They're in the sandwich, yes.
Yeah, so
but there is a weird thing about that kind of thing. Of
I agree.
Like, look, it's all in there in the bite, but there's a way I go through it. You know what I'm saying?
I will say,
this
like,
is getting weird.
I was
This
just
is
going to
getting
say,
really
like,
weird.
it is the cranberry sauce is the outlier for the Thanksgiving sandwich.
Yeah.
But it adds so very much.
Oh, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
important. It's important.
That's because like Thanksgiving meal is like so. There's not a lot of acid. There's not a lot of tang or
Right.
or zing to things. Right.
Right.
Most stuff is more. What is there a word for that? like stuff that it's more. I'm thinking mashed potatoes, stuffing,
Yeah.
turkey.
It's all similar.
Those are all none of those have zinginess. None
Yeah.
of those have zestiness to
Yeah,
them. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
You're not bringing the acid. And if you want like a full rounded flavor thing,
Yes.
salt, sweet, acid, and like you're basically there.
It's interesting. Cranberry sauce on the sandwich adds
fat,
the same
acid, heat.
thing as salt does to the chocolate chip cookie.
sure.
It balances it.
I'll ask this for our listener viewers. Give us pictures.
Yeah, send in pics.
in the Facebook group, through email, in the subreddit of your
Yeah.
not your Thanksgiving meal,
No, fuck the meal.
Thanksgiving sandwich.
Yes,
And
I
with-
like this
with-
idea.
Yeah,
This is great. Funbearable
with
potted.
text describing, like
Yeah, Funbearable, like embracing the Thanksgiving sandwich
That's
is such
good.
a fun thing. Like this year, our Halloween period of time, I went on the Funbearable Facebook group.
Yeah.
and I said like, I love seeing these
Yep.
Halloween
Me too.
costumes. Send them all. You know what I
great.
mean? And people all shared them, and that was like such a fun like
Yes, it
community
was.
It
moment.
really was fun.
That felt like,
I
oh wow,
agree.
we've got like a group of people.
I had the exact same feeling, and I was like, I'm going to text Ray, and I'm like, I'll talk to him soon about it.
Yeah.
And I felt the exact same way. I'm like, oh, it's really cool, and because people were trickling them in a little bit,
Right.
And then you made that post. You're like, yes, let's fucking do this. We all like to celebrate.
Yeah.
no,
Yep.
it was great.
And now we're gonna do it with the sandwiches. I love it.
just the sandwiches.
Send
Yeah.
us your filthy sandwich
And
pics.
you know what? if you live in a country that doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving,
Make them.
make a great sandwich.
Yes. Make your own kind of holiday sandwich, whatever that might
Yes.
be, right?
Yes,
Great.
Funbearablepod@gmail.com is where to send the pictures, or do the Funbearable Facebook group or the Funbearable subreddit, something like that.
I think maybe on Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving.
yeah, that's the perfect time.
I'll post I'll throw up a post in the Facebook group saying, "Hey,
do it.
let me see them sandwiches."
And if you're like me, you will have made one the night before at like 10 o'clock at night.
Of
so make
course.
sure you take a picture.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Then you post it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is great. David Schwimmer is absolutely right.
Yep.
The Friends episode where
Yeah.
he's like, "That's my Thanksgiving sandwich."
Yeah.
It's funny because that was supposed to be ridiculous.
Yep.
And I watch it and I'm like, I get it. I get it fully. You took this man's 365 days have passed.
Yes.
And he's been looking forward to this. And you took that man's delight.
The moist maker.
Yeah.
And I made the one with the moist maker one time. It was a lot.
Yep.
Oh, sure.
It was a lot. That's why the gravy is in a small little boat on the side, shaped
Mm-hmm.
like Brad's face.
Oh, great. Well, thank you all so much for listening and or watching. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate you very much. For Ray Harrington and Chuck Staten, I'm Brad Rohr saying thank you so much, and we're sorry for being Funbearable.
Protect your giblets.
Careful of a bed of nails if you're going to jump into a pile of leaves.
Or sharp rocks are also a thing. Mush.
Mush.
A Gibby
slugs.
If I were a serial killer, I would legitimately get a big pile of leaves and I would put a horribly mutilated body in it, and I would laugh all the way home. If I was a crazy psycho killer,
Right.
because knowing some kid's going to be like, "Wee," and then be traumatized for life.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
You really affect a lot of lives that way.
Yeah. What would be a good button?